We just finished a short session, and kind of those of us who participated in session, I think we're feeling a little tired and ready to go do something else. Session is an amazing practice, and I always forget. I've done how many? Hundreds of sessions, and I always forget how profound it is, and on such a deep level, and then also how tiring it can be. So yeah, me and the dogs are ready for a W. I don't say the word out loud. So what I want to talk about is this koan. It's the sixth case of the Blue Cliff record, but we see it earlier in koan study. We see it in the first 200, and it's different there. So I want to use how it's presented in the first 200 koans. Uman introduced the subject saying, I do not ask you about 15 days ago, 15 days hence. Come, say a word about this. He himself replied for them, every day is a good day. So I don't ask you about 15 days ago. I don't ask you about 15 days in the future. What do you say about now? And then he himself replied, every day is a good day. So this is quoted fairly often. I mean, that kind of saying is, it's all good. Everything's good. We hear that a lot. Of course, the dedication today during service, our dedication is getting longer and longer. It was to end systemic racism, to send love to all of those suffering through the pandemic, which is all of us, right? And also for an end to the conflict in the Ukraine. So there's so much suffering going on. And I don't know if we're unusual or it's always been this way. I just read about now they're going into Kiev and finding horrible things and really genocide. I guess when you kill the people who aren't soldiers, the workers and families and children, that's genocide. And that's a war crime, I guess. And that's happened forever. What happened when the Europeans came to the land that we call the United States now and practiced genocide, the Holocaust, it seems like since mankind started, we've had terrible. I mean, who takes care of their problems by killing each other? We learn when we're 3 that that's not the solution, but somehow we do that. We do that. And also we hate based on different colors, different cultures, different people different from ourselves. somehow hatred is something that comes easily to us. And of course, the pandemic, that's a force of nature. Even if we fixed our greed, anger, ignorance, if we were able to fix our human failings, we're still stuck with natural disaster, like pandemic and tsunamis. And so anyway, there's a lot of suffering going on. And actually, that's what Buddha said, First Noble Truth is life is suffering. In fact, we don't get what we want. And we get what we don't want. And that creates suffering for us. So what does this mean? Every day is a good day. He certainly can't be saying, really, the stuff that happens is good. The pain that we have in our lives is good. What is he talking about that's good? And of course, he's talking about what Buddha found out, waking up to our true nature, which is beyond human. It's bigger than human. It holds everything. Everything is included in that. And the nature of true nature is perfect, whole, complete. And the various aspects of our lives are teeny compared to the grandeur, the magnificence, the wonder of the absolute, our true self, what Buddha found out, Buddha nature. So when he says every day is a good day, he's referring to the fact that every moment is that. Every moment is infinite in all directions, contains no fear, no suffering, no pain, includes everyone. And what he's encouraging all of us to do is realize that. Realize what Buddha realized, which we all can. Buddha, he was kind of special, I guess. He was kind of a king or something in India, but he was human, just like all of us. The true nature is what each of us is, and each of us is completely capable of realizing that. The only thing that stops it is our ideas and concepts. And that's the second noble truth, that we don't see it. This is true. Well, the second one is there's an end to suffering. There is this true self that is no suffering. But there's a reason we don't see it. That's the third one. And the reason is because of upside down thinking, because we identify with this little aggregate of karma that suffers. And there's a way to do that, and the way is the Eightfold Path. And the Eightfold Path is generally be a good person, follow the precepts, right speech, right livelihood, right action. Follow the precepts, do meditation, realize the oneness of all things, experience samadhi. Meditation involves effort, showing up here, showing up on Sunday morning and sitting with the Sangha, showing up for morning sitting. Effort in terms of following the precepts. It takes effort. And this effort is, of course, effortless, because once you see it, you see you didn't need to do anything at all. But that one of the Eightfold Path is effort. And then mindfulness, which is just pay attention to this. So Uma's in a way talking about mindfulness. What about this? What about right now? cloudy here and the dogs are, Bruno's just staring. I don't know. It must be a coyote. He's just staring. So right now, what's going on? That's mindfulness. And then concentration. So that's the samadhi. The concentration, when we practice with concentration, which is Zen, being one with this moment, being one with right here, following the breath, doing koans, doing whatever we do. At some point, that shifts, and we have the samadhi experience, the different kinds of samadhi experiences. Bliss, that's a nice samadhi experience. The one Zen focuses on is no self, emptiness, seeing that my life and my suffering is empty. It's part of this huge thing. And in that, it doesn't exist. So realizing that no self samadhi, that's what happens in meditation. And then out of that comes what they call resolve, but living our life intent on realizing what Buddha realized and manifesting it for others. So living a path of a spiritual path. Essentially, resolve means living a spiritual path. And there's many, many different spiritual paths. It just means choosing one and doing that. And then the right view, which is seeing what our life really is. So part of that is realizing the oneness of all things. Hush, no, stop it. Good girl. So the right view is the oneness of all things, and it's also the differences. So we have Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So Buddha is the oneness of all things. And that's every day is a good day. The differences, the Dharma, that's everything in our life, all the differences. And that includes racism and pandemic and war. It includes everything. And a lot of it is difficult stuff. So when we say every day is a good day, we're talking about in the midst of our lives, to have that realization, to have that understanding of the perfection of wisdom. So no matter how difficult our life becomes, we also know it's empty. We know it's immortal. We know it's one. And so those two work together. Buddha, Dharma works together. And Dogen says, when you see one side, you don't see the other side. So sometimes we're in a deep samadhi and everything's just perfect and it feels so great and it's so blissful. And sometimes we're aware of the terrible suffering of the world. And sometimes that's my suffering. Sometimes it's my irritation at a little doggy. That's my life. And yet at the same time, it's perfect. Be quiet, Chanel. So then, this was going to be a short talk. Now it'll be short. So then, what about the past? So what about the future? So what he's saying is when we're meditating, be here. Let go of the guilt, the grief, the nostalgia, all the stuff about our past, our ideas, our the things we put together from the past. Let go of that and be here. And of course, that doesn't mean to disregard history. Of course, that history is part of here. So when we look at how do we behave, let's learn from the terrible things that have happened, and let's tell the truth about what's happened. That's why it's so important to tell the truth and not redo history. And then the same thing about the future. Let go of worrying, planning, figuring out how it could be better, what I need to do to make it better. Let go of all of that. And at the same time, of course, it's good to plan. Of course, we need to plan our lives and decide how we're going to do things. But for this moment, in this Seisen, let go of worrying. So this is a perfect little instruction on how to do Zazen. Let go of the past, let go of the future, just be here. And then you will realize what this every day is a good day is and what it means.